some more gas?
No way.
4-3, you got a copy, 4-3.
Smart, watch the rocks, in tires. Got it. We're gonna get through this nice and clean, no show shit moments, we'll be good. Yep. John, you got a copy on me? Yep. No, it unplugged. It unplugged. Hello guys, my name is Dad TODD Remmereid and I'm an off-road racer. I have my own team, TR Racing, and right now we're just building our own brand. Currently we're out here in Johnson Valley, California. We're at King Hammers 2023, man. This year we did more pre-running than we ever did last year. We spent a full week doing the desert loop, the rock loop, and so we got really conditioned in parts that we didn't last year. We're out here on Chocolate Thunder today with a pre-runner. We're about to practice the qualifying course, try to get a burnt line in so we can come in here with the race car and just knock it out. We're gonna go up Chocolate Thunder, and then on the backside we'll come down her problem and down idle issues, and we'll come right back out. So we'll do it a couple times and see if we can't get a good rhythm down and have some fun.
So yeah, we were out pre-running. We had just gotten through Chocolate Thunder on the really hard part down on the bottom. We took off to go back to Hammertown and never came. And so we ended up driving back there, and it's like, what happened? We went out pre-running, felt confident everywhere we went, and I'm like, all right, it's time to take the race car out. And just a shakedown, because you gotta shake them down at one point. You can't just show up to the start line and think, oh, everything's gonna go all right. And I had done it once before in the race car. This was my second time coming back through, and I had a person in the car with me, and it literally just took not even half a second. I made one mistake. I came in too hot, and we started rolling down the hill. And we rolled a total of like two and a half times, and we landed on our side and then started sliding down the mountain. And we luckily stopped, and from that point I was like, made sure my co-driver was okay. I apologized. I felt so bad, but at the same time, I also put myself in a terrible situation because this was the day before qualifying. Going up a rock section, if you happen to, you see everybody get a little, if you tip over, you just kind of fall on your side. But when they're coming down idle issues, right at the beginning of it, is you get over this drop off, and then there's about a 3 to 4 foot vertical drop. And you can't stop, you gotta go with momentum. And when they went over it, the tire kind of turned sideways, and so it kind of bit, and then they rolled over, and there's boulders that they're bouncing off of, and if it wasn't for just kind of landing on the side and sliding up against a big boulder, they could have kept rolling down. And if they would have landed on top of the cage on one of those big boulders, who knows what happened. So we're just glad that it turned out like it did. It was pretty scary because that's a really steep hill, and it's a good thing he stopped because you could just keep going and going. So it was a pretty terrifying moment as a parent, for sure.
It was a struggle getting the car even back to the tent because we rolled down a mountain and it was like 5 miles away from our camp. We had to borrow someone's trailer and then somehow get the car onto the trailer, back to the camp, unloaded, underneath the tent. And so when we finally got to that point, that's when we could address the situation, what was actually broke. You know, first instinct is, oh man, I hope nothing's broke. And I knew that one of the parts was on back order in the entire nation. And that's when I was really worried because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what are we gonna do? And then we reached out to every parts store in the country to try to find a Turbo S front left knuckle, right? That was on back order everywhere. And you know, luckily we had a Turbo S in our pit to get through qualifying. I stole a guy in my pit's knuckle. So thank you, Travis, for letting me steal your front knuckle because it got us through qualifying and then, you know, got us to the starting line.
Good morning, everybody. It's race day out here at King of Hammers. It's TODD Remmereid. We were kind of up late last night. Had a few issues with the car, but we're hoping to get them sorted out this morning. Just wasn't acting 100% like it needs to be, but we're gonna make the most of it and give it our best shot. So we're gonna have a fun and safe race and get across that dang finish line.
All right, buddy, long race. Keep together. You got it.
Smiles back. Nope. What's that? I said the snack has smiles back. Gold face. Yeah, this is what the race can be like now.
And when the race started, you couldn't see 5 feet in front of your car, and you're going 70 miles an hour because you don't want to hit anybody. And so we ended up, I took a line on the outside, and it was a clear, and I just sent it, and I passed like 4 cars in the dust. So that was, you know, it's terrifying because you're moving and you can't see anything in front of you, and all it would take is to have someone stopped and you could just hit them. So.
This is 143. Over. How's the car doing? Do you need a stop for fuel or anything else? What's up? I think we can make it to RP2.
Copy that. See you when you get here. We'll be ready for you. Pit speed is 25 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour.
You just did 80 miles of the desert, and now you come back through and you go back through the short course section, which is where we started. That's main pit. We stopped at main pit, you know, collected our thoughts, you know, had to take a breather because what we were about to do was the rocks, and that was the most challenging part of the race. So we came in, you know, took a breath, and then once we went back out, you kind of just start lap 2, which is the rock section, and then you go from there.
John, you got a copy on me?
Yep.
No, it unplugged. It unplugged.
You got me? You got me?
No, it unplugged. Plug it back in. There. Now I got it.
All right, buddy, keep it together, the rocks. You guys are doing great. Keep up the good work.
I was not looking forward to the rocks by any means. The desert's the fun part. The rocks is where it gets real nasty. And that's where you can make or break your race. So obviously, since I rolled down idle issues in qualifying, doing the qualifying course, in the race, we were supposed to go up it. And, you know, I wasn't the only one who obviously had struggles on that trail. We were out pre-running, and one of the guys we were pre-running with rolled backwards trying to go up it. And so thank God they gave us the option of the bypass going up idle issues in the race. The first rock sections we went through, we went down Spooners and then up outer limits. And those were the first two rock sections, or those were the only rock sections that I took my co-driver through, because it was his first time ever being out there. And those are the first two we went through. And I'm like, all right, man, like this is a taste of the rocks that we're gonna be going through. And he's like, all right, this is gonna be fun. What's funny is he actually, he loves the rocks. And I'm like, I don't. The rocks are, I hate the rocks. He's like, yeah, I like the rocks a lot more than the desert. There's like 12 rock sections to check off the list. And you know, going through each one is so satisfying getting through each one. You're like, okay. Then you kind of like make it, I call them like a transition trail, where it's, you get a breather. It's like a flat trail and there's nothing crazy going on. And you get like a little break before the next challenge. And the transition trails are my favorite. I would say the top three hardest rock trails, Thor's Hammer, Z-Walk was a tough one for sure, and then going up idle issues, that was another tough one. I would say my favorite moment is, you know, we were coming towards the end of the finish line, and I knew we had no rocks left. I knew all we had left was desert and a section that we could easily get through, and I was going across the desert at like 75, going through the whoops. The car was doing what it was supposed to, and we had a giant helicopter like right next to us with a huge camera hanging out. And I almost started crying because I'm like, man, like this is so cool. Like we got to this point with my co-driver, his first year ever. We're flying across the desert, this giant helicopter right next to us. Like that was a pretty cool moment. You know, when we finally came across that finish line, you know, I'm like, we did it, man. It was a huge accomplishment for both of us, and you know, to give him that opportunity for his first time ever to come out to King Hammers, even to be there, and then hop in a race car and actually finish the race like that, helping someone achieve that for themselves was super cool. And then for me, it was just satisfying because all the work that we put in leading up to that point.
I'm ready to put some gas in and grab a burnt sandwich and do it again.
Okay. Congrats, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, it looks like we have Scott Rain up there on stage with Mr. Tyler Remmereid.
Once we got through that, we were running pretty great, and our next challenge was sledge. We got through sledge, four-wheel drive stopped working, and we went in multiple different spots, got to the top, and put the switch back on, and we kept going. So it was an eventful.
No, he's I can't cut it off. I ain't got no car. You got it done, brother.
I almost took your jack.
I know. Congratulations. Hey, congratulations, y'all. We fought hard all day out there. Did you run away far enough to still beat me? Yeah, you did. But I started way behind you, didn't I?
I don't know. I put your helmet in here.
I think I started 6 minutes behind you, so I was trying to see if I could get here within 6 minutes, and I don't think I got it done.
We were stuck behind a group of cars for over an hour.
I was in the same one, but I was right behind y'all.
But did you get stuck at Thor's Hammer?
Yeah, I was there for an hour.
I was there for an hour.
Yeah, I was right behind you. I could see you. When you were at the top, I've worked my way. I went through them rocks and went around everybody.
Oh, got it.
So I finally got to the top.
Down Z-Walk, we got that left front tire was wedged like this.
Like what I was about to do?
Yeah, we had a right rear to flat.
Well, the right rear was wedged too. That's
So
why
it
I
wasn't
went
touching
flat.
nothing. It wasn't even catching.
No, they were pinched. They couldn't twist.
Tire pressure is definitely key when you're going through the rock sections here. It's just getting down, getting that last section to make it back there to the finish.
How you feeling?
Really start watching.
I'm ready to lay down. I'm hungry and I need some. Gonna go get me like a ice cold Dr. Pepper.
I think there's some in the cooler. I think we can arrange that.
We can arrange that.
I think we can arrange that.
I think we can do some.
Yeah, I think we can figure it out.